Thank you for joining me with my friend the Holy Spirit. This is Gift Zawadi Love. Today we continue the series on prayer, and I want you to see how David felt by the silence of God. And you know, David was a man who was after God's own heart. But we're going to look at him in a little bit. But I want to read Psalms 28 verse 1. And this is how he describes the silence of God. This is how he likens it. He says, I pray to you, O Lord, my rock. Do not turn a deaf ear to me. For if you are silent, I might as well give up and die. If you are silent, it's as good as death. It is actually spiritual death. When God keeps silent, you cannot eat, there's no feeding spiritually, you starve. It's as good as dead. I'm going to show you a story that actually David messed up. And God also, speaking to David, had actually sent prophet Nathan to speak to him. And this is in 2 Samuel chapter 11. In the spring of the year, when the kings normally go out to war, David sent Joab and the Israelite army to fight the Ammonites. They destroyed the Amorite army and laid siege to the city of Rabbah. However, David stayed behind in Jerusalem. There is, however, kings usually go to fight, but this time David just stayed around. Why did he stay around? It is not a good thing to be out of your assignment. Watch this, because the enemy is very quick to grab you when you're out of your assignment. Late one afternoon, after his midday rest, David got out of bed and was walking on the roof of the palace. As he looked over the city, he noticed a woman of unusual beauty taking a bath. He sent someone to find out who she was, and he was told she is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite. Then David sent messengers to get her, and when she came to the palace, he slept with her. She had just completed the purification rites after having her menstrual period. Then she returned home. Later, when Bathsheba discovered that she was pregnant, she sent David a message saying, I am pregnant. David is in trouble. He's a king. He's in the wrong place. He's supposed to be with other kings fighting, yet he stayed out of assignment. Very dangerous thing. Secondly, he fell into sin, lusting for a woman who was not his wife. Even as many concubines as he had, he still desired somebody else's wife. Even when he inquired, after he inquired who she was, and being told that this was somebody's wife, he yet sent for her and defiled her. Then David sent word to Joab, send me Uriah the Hittite. So Joab sent him to David. When Uriah arrived, David asked him how Joab and the army were getting along and how the war was progressing. You know, when you hear that David has slept with Uriah's wife, she's now pregnant, and then now he sends for Uriah to come home, you think he's probably going to tell him, hey, listen, I really messed up and I slept with your wife? Let's see what happens. Then he told Uriah, go on home and relax. David sent a gift to Uriah after he had left the palace, but Uriah did not go home. He slept that night at the palace entrance with the king's palace guard. When David heard that Uriah did not go home, he summoned him and asked, what's the matter? Why didn't you go home last night after being away for so long? Do you see what David is trying to do? David is trying to get Uriah to sleep with his wife, so that when the Uriah finds out that the wife is pregnant, he will think that he's the one who caused the wife to be pregnant. David, not only did he steal somebody's wife, but he's trying to be slick enough to be a deceiver. One sin after another. Uriah replied, the ark and the armies of Israel and Judah are living in tents, and Joab and my master's men are camping in the open fields. How could I go home to wine and dine and sleep with my wife? I swear that I would never do such a thing. Well, stay here today, David told him, and tomorrow you may return to the army. So Uriah stayed in Jerusalem that day and the next. Then David invited him to dinner and got him drunk. But even then, he couldn't get Uriah to go home to his wife. You see, David decided, oh, you know what? Let me treat him good. Give him dinner and a lot of wine, and let me get him drunk so he can forget about that and go and sleep with his wife. Again, he slept at the palace entrance with the king's palace guards. Uriah wasn't falling for it. As drunk as he was not going to sleep with his wife. This is amazing. We see a whole king, a king that has been anointed and appointed by God, has been in the wrong place instead of him being at the right place. That is why you should always not neglect your assignment. Go, be where you're supposed to be. And then he takes somebody else's wife, and then he tries to cover up. Now, join me again as we look and see what will happen to this. God bless you. Thank you.